Well, if it isn't another video promising deep research, but coming from someone who's probably still trying to figure out how to turn on their computer, open source, more like open season for nonsense, I can already feel the eye rolls forming. Today, we're diving into this treasure trove of questionable information. I mean, how deep can you really go when your sources are as reliable as a toad on a pogo stick? So grab your waders, folks, because we're about to wade through a swamp of half-baked ideas and dubious claims. And if you enjoy watching me struggle to keep my sanity while dissecting this mess, don't forget to subscribe and like. Trust me, it'll be more entertaining than watching paint dry in my bog. Now, let's get this over with.
So OpenAI came out with a thing called deep research. You might have heard of it. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I've been using it, but you know what's not amazing? It's price tag. If you want to use this sucker, you have to be a ChatGPT Pro user, which is $200 a month. Now, I pay for that because I want to play with stuff. But
$200 a month. That's more than my entire bog budget for a year. Who do they think they are, charging that much? It's like they expect you to sell a kidney just to play around with their fancy AI. I get it. Innovation costs money, but come on. This better come with a personal assistant and a lifetime supply of snacks for that price.
But I want you to be able to play with stuff too. So I was scrolling through Twitter and I found this guy's tweet. David. No, not that David. David came up with his own open source implementation of deep research. Essentially, you get the same capability without paying $200. I have to try this. So you and me, we're going to try it right now. I'll show you how to set it up. We'll do it together and we'll do a little bit of side-by-side comparing OpenAI's deep research to open source deep research. Keeping in mind, this deep research is using OpenAI Mini 3. I can't even say the thing. OpenAI Mini 3 High. It's the dumbest name ever. I can't remember anything. It's using that. Get your coffee ready. Let's get started. Now, before we go crazy, let's talk about what is this deep research thing. Well, normally with AI, we get very, very quick answers. Just blah, blah, and they're okay answers, right? Like, it's good. But with deep research, it's doing what it says. It's doing some deep research. It'll take 5 to 30 minutes to do a deep dive, providing, I think,
5 to 30 minutes for a deep dive. That's longer than it takes me to find a decent bug to snack on. If I wanted to wait that long for answers, I'd just sit in my bog and ponder life's mysteries. Sure, deep research sounds fancy, but let's be real. Most of us just want the quick and dirty answers. Who has time to wait around like a toad on a log?
I think people say PhD quality research. So it would take a normal person or a normal PhD person hours or days to research a topic. Like, I'm talking in depth, like going out to web pages, reading pages, coming back and referencing others and quoting and citations, all that nerdy stuff. It does that in 30 minutes. I was talking with my producer, Alex, and we're like, I love it when it takes longer to answer me, like AI. Like, we're all bragging about, AI, this is fast. This is so fast. I love it when it takes longer. I feel like it thought more about something. I feel like it's giving me a well-rounded answer. It's got multi-step reasoning. It's like going out to web pages, doing some data analysis, doing another search. It's kind of thinking like a human. Many people are thinking this is the first real step to AGI. And one very annoying thing about AI and the answers it gives us is we can't really trust it. Like, even ChatGPT is like, sometimes we get stuff wrong. So what's really cool about the research is that it has citations. For most of the things it says, hey, don't take my word for it.
Now that's a refreshing twist. An AI that actually tells you to verify its claims. It's like a toad saying, hey, don't just trust me. Check the swamp. This could save a lot of people from blindly following bad info. If only more sources had that kind of honesty. Maybe we wouldn't be drowning in misinformation like a toad in a rainstorm.
Here's the link right here. That's pretty killer. And this sucker is multimodal, which if you don't know what that means, it can look at pictures, it can look at text, it can look at PDFs, it can process all of these types of data. So tell you what, right now, let's try a little deep research. I almost said deep search. Deep seek. Deep research. I'll click on my deep research button here and I'll search for a hard-hitting topic. Research which animal is better, cats or dogs. Give me a thorough answer, a definitive answer based on science. Now, what's cool is it won't just like go off to the races going, okay, got enough context. It will ask me for more context. This is also going to be available in the open source version of this. So we're getting to that here in a moment. I'll just say all of the above. Now, I will say sometimes it will just kind of get stuck here and not do anything. And I'll be like, hey, bro, you good? And he won't be. Kind of like what he's doing now. Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. So it's starting the research task now. It should even pull up a little tab on the side, on the right, and show me what.
Finally, we're getting somewhere. A little tab popping up to show the research in real time. Now that's a feature worth mentioning. It's like having a personal assistant who doesn't just sit there like a lump on a log. If it can actually deliver a thorough comparison of cats and dogs, I might just be impressed, though I won't admit it out loud. Let's see if it can back up that promise without getting stuck like a toad in a mud puddle.
What it's thinking any day now. I'll tell you what, we'll let that sit here. I know you want to know the answer. You're going to watch and wait, aren't you? I'm not even going to put timestamps. You're going to have to watch the entire video. But now let's check out this open source thing. Again, this ChatGPT deep research right now costs $200. This guy's like, nah, all you're going to need is a ChatGPT or OpenAI API key, which is not free, but is significantly cheaper than $200 a month. It's pay as you go, and he even has a nice little diagram here. Essentially, here is the thought process. It's using what's called SERP queries, which I just found out because I started playing with Crew AI. If you haven't played with that, oh my gosh, video coming soon. It's so much. It's a big world. And this will also be using the O3 Mini High. I think I got it this time. So let's go to the GitHub and get this set up. It's actually really quick to get this set up. We're really only going to need three things. We'll need a Firecrawl API, which is free, don't worry, and an OpenAI API. We'll also need a Node.js environment, but we're going to do that inside of a Docker container because you know how I roll.
Docker containers. Now we're getting into the tetchy weeds. It's like putting your whole setup in a cozy little box, so it doesn't get lost in the swamp of dependencies. If only my bog had a Docker container to keep the critters organized. But seriously, this setup sounds like it could actually streamline things. Let's hope it doesn't turn into a tangled mess like my last attempt at organizing my bug collection.
You know how I roll. Also, I'm pretty new to Firecrawl API. This thing's amazing. They do have a hosted option, which is free. Well, up to 500 credits. I'll get logged in real quick with my Google account. And seriously, it's so easy to get this API key because right when you log in, it's just sitting right here, ready for you to copy it. So make sure you have that. And then for the OpenAI API key, you'll need to get set up with an account with OpenAI. You'll go to platform.openai.com. You'll get logged in or sign up. Normally, I think it's connected to your ChatGPT if you already have a subscription, but the $20 a month or whatever you pay does not include this. This API usage will be pay as you go, which if you're just doing this real quick for a few things, it's going to be pennies. If you're doing crazy stuff, well, it's going to cost you crazy money. But we're not doing anything crazy right now. But once you're logged in and you have a credit card, you can go grab your API keys. I'm going to create one right now. Now, with both of our keys ready to go, we can now set up our Docker environment. Now, you don't have to do it with Docker. If you prefer just doing npm, he shows you how to do it right here. I like Docker. It keeps things separate.
The Docker love fest continues. It's like a cozy little home for your projects, keeping everything neat and tidy. I get it. Who wants to deal with a messy setup? It's like trying to find a snack in a cluttered bog. You just end up frustrated. If Docker helps keep the chaos at bay, I'm all for it. Let's see if this setup actually lives up to the hype.
Secure, nice and safe. Now, if you're like, I don't know what Docker is, Chuck, and please help me. I've got a Docker video right over here. Go watch it, get set up, get it installed. It's very easy. It's on Mac, Windows, and Linux. And here in Windows, you do have to run it inside WSL, which is another thing. If you don't know what that is, that'll blow your mind. But I want to launch my WSL instance right here, and my video on that is right here. It's essentially Linux on Windows. We'll first use the git clone command to clone the repo. Deep research. You will need Git installed, but thankfully on most installations like Mac and Linux, it'll already have Git there. If you don't got it, go get it. I'm sorry for that. I'm going to CD or jump into the deep research directory. And then inside here, I'm going to add all the stuff I need to create my Docker container. You don't need to know what Docker is, just follow along, but it will help to know what it is to kind of understand what I'm doing here. First, we'll create an environment file. We'll type in nano, the best text editor in Linux, period. We'll specify our file, .env.local. And we're going to add two things here, our Firecrawl API key and our OpenAI API key. I'll add mine right now.
The classic let's throw our API keys into a file move. It's like leaving your front door wide open and hoping no one walks in. Sure, it's convenient, but let's not pretend it's the safest approach. If you're going to share your keys, at least make sure you're not broadcasting them to the entire swamp. A little caution goes a long way, especially in the tech world.
Now, just like this, Firecrawl _ key, have that equal within parentheses your API key. I'm going to grab mine, copy that key, paste it here. And then just under that, my OpenAI _ key equal my key. Where'd you go, buddy? There you are. That's all we need for that file. We'll hit Control X, Y, Enter to save. Type in ls. You should see our file right. Actually, no, you won't see it. It's hidden. Type in ls-al, and you'll see it right here. That's what that dot does before a file. It'll hide the file. Now we're going to create what's called a Docker file. So we'll do nano Docker file, just like this. And I'm going to copy and paste this config again. This is essentially describing a Docker container we're about to build. I will have all this config below in a nice little blog post on blog.networkcheck.com. We'll hit Control X, Y, enter to save. And then one last thing, we're going to create our Docker compose file. Type in nano docker-compose.yml. We'll paste this config in. Again, this will be below. Control X, Y, enter to save. And then because we're doing environment variables a bit differently, we will have to change one file. Type in ls where you are right.
The classic change one file maneuver. It's like saying, just a tiny tweak when you know it's going to turn into a whole saga. If only it were that simple. But hey, if it gets us closer to a functioning setup, I'm all for it. Just remember, every little change can lead to either brilliance or chaos. Let's hope for the former.
ls where you are right now, we're going to change the package.json file. So we'll do nano package.json. This won't be scary, I promise. It's going to be one little file right here, the start tsx-environment file, blah, 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 blah. We're just going to backspace this a bit to where it looks like this, just like this. Hit Control X, Y, enter to save. And now we're ready to go, actually. All we have to do is run one command. We'll type in docker compose. You may have to do a sudo at the beginning of this. I'll go ahead and do that right now, just in case. Docker compose, run --rm. This will actually remove the container once we're done with it. And then we'll call the container deep research. Ready, set, go. Oh, crap,
Oh, here we go, the classic oh crap moment. Nothing like a little technical hiccup to spice things up. It's like watching a toad try to leap and landing right in the muck instead. Let's see if he can sort this out, or if we're in for a wild ride of Toadally Unimpressed. Buckle up, folks.
Crap, we got an error. Oh, you know what? I don't know what it is. We messed up our package.json file. Let's jump back in there real quick. Package.json. It's not proper JSON. We didn't put a comma. You probably saw this, didn't you? We didn't put a comma after our start right here. There we go, proper JSON. Control X, Y, enter to save. Hit the up arrow to run that command one more time. And, come on. It's working. Exciting.
Finally, it's working. It's like watching a toad finally leap out of the muck after a long struggle. The anticipation is real. Now, let's see if this thing can actually deliver on the research promise. Fingers crossed it doesn't get stuck again. Nobody wants to see a repeat of that earlier chaos.
Exciting. What would I like to research? Let's research the same thing. I would like to know what is better, or what animal is better, cats or dogs. And then we'll control the breadth of the research. Defaults to 4. We'll just do 4. And then depth. So the first one was how wide. Second one's how deep. What does that mean exactly? I'm not sure. I haven't done the breadth and the depth on this yet. We're playing with it right now. And it's creating the research plan. It's going to actually ask me the questions that ChatGPT just did earlier. Similar ones. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All of the above. Let's do data-driven. Scientific. Sure. Okay, and now it's researching. Coffee break while it does it. Now, I'm not sure if I've exhausted my API key usage. Let me go look. Oh, no, I haven't. I haven't done anything. I haven't paid anything. This is all free. Oh, it's doing it. This is so cool. Doing things on your own hardware, which this is not our own hardware, but it's open source and we're doing it in the command line. It just feels cooler. OpenAI keeps things very mysterious. You don't really know what's happening. Here you do. The code is all there. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned what Firecrawl was for. If I did, my rate limit was exceeded. This is why I would probably want to run this locally, which you can do that. But I just found this like an hour ago, so I can't do it right now. Check it out. All the URLs. It did some research. We're about to see our results. Now, it said it saved it to report.md. We'll look at that here in a second. But I think, yeah, here's all the research right here in Markdown, right here in our terminal. What was the conclusion? I don't want to read all this. You saw it here, folks. Dogs are better.
Well, there you have it. The definitive answer. Dogs are better. It's like the age-old debate finally settled with some actual research. I mean, who needs to read through all that when you can just take the word of a grumpy old toad? But hey, at least we got some scientific backing for the dog lovers out there. Now, let's see if the cat folks have anything to say about that.
Dogs are better. Take that, suckers. I am a dog person. Sorry, cat lovers. Let's see. Let's see if ChatGPT said the same thing. It said dogs. Yes, but check it out. I mean, the research is cool. So obviously, ChatGPT has a prettier interface, right? We've got links right in here in line. Definitely pretty wordy, but I think we got a similar output, and we can control how deep and how wide this goes as well on the open source side. What do you say we do one more thing? And by the way, let me know how you feel about that conclusion. Do you agree? It's hard not to agree. It's AI. It knows more. It can now research way better than you can. Better than I can. Let's do an age-old question. And by the way, to run this again, we'll do the same command just like this. Which OS is better for IT professionals? Mac, Linux, or Windows? Spicy, right? Let me ask the same question over here. Let's say system administration and network engineering and cybersecurity. All of the above. Should the analysis be on cost, licensing, everything? Everything. Answer the same questions. Notice it's asking similar questions. We are both using ChatGPT o3 Mini High. Okay, starting research, I will say my command line's a lot faster, although I do reach my rate limits. And I bet the research would be so much better if I didn't hit these rate limits. It is so fun watching the thought process of these AIs. Also extremely scary. But I don't know, the more I play with AI, which it feels like I've been playing with new things every single stinking day because of releasing things at the speed of light. The more I play with it, the more encouraged I am for us, IT people and humanity in general. It's going to make us so good at what we do. And
that's a hopeful take. If AI can really elevate our skills and make us better at what we do, then maybe it's not all doom and gloom. It's like having a trusty sidekick that helps you level up, just as long as it doesn't decide to take over the world first. Let's see if this tech can truly enhance our abilities, or if it's just a flashy gimmick.
Good at what we do. And that's the question you have to ask yourself, or this is the question you need to ask yourself every single day. How can I use AI to help me do my job better? That's how you're going to stay ahead in this. Oh, I love me a good AI that takes a long time to answer. Feels good. All right, let's see what, actually, I'm going to show it at the same time. So, video editor, don't show it yet. Dude, ChatGPT is taking too long. I have to go pee. Come on, ChatGPT. It's taking so long. I got a meeting with Jeremy Chara. Hurry up. Oh, it's finally done. Okay. And the conclusion. I saw it coming. And you know what? I agree with this because I do the same thing as an IT pro. Aim to build competency in all three over your career. You'll need all of them. And I'm pretty sure this said the same thing. The deep research open source. Yeah, here it is right here. For IT professionals, I'm resizing it. It's not a single OS decision. It's implementing a hybrid strategy utilizing each system's strengths while utilizing rigorous platform agnostic security practices, blah, blah, blah. You heard it here, folks. Mac, Windows, Linux, use them all. All right, that's the video.
And there you have it. The grand conclusion. Use them all. It's like a buffet of operating systems. Why limit yourself? Just like a toad in a pond, you've got to hop around and make the most of what's available. Embracing a hybrid approach sounds smart, especially in the ever-evolving tech landscape. Now let's see if anyone can actually keep up with all that.
Let me know if you tried. Hey, real quick, no. Just as I'm making this video, Hugging Face said they're coming out with their own.
Well, it looks like the competition is heating up. Hugging Face stepping into the ring with their own agentic framework. That's like watching a new contender enter the swamp. Things are about to get interesting. If they can deliver something that rivals what's already out there, we might just see some real innovation. Let's hope they don't trip over their own feet in the process.
Their own agentic framework for deep search because they want to, I guess, beat OpenAI. It's pretty cool. You can try it, or maybe you can't. It's like not working right now, but hey, everyone's jumping on this, and I can't keep up, so I had to add this. There's my editor. Say hi, editors. What's up? Hi.
Well, folks, we've waded through the muck and mire of deep research, but open source, and I must say it was as exhilarating as watching a snail cross the road. The promises of profound insights were about as deep as a puddle after a light drizzle, and I'm still trying to figure out if anybody's computer even turned on through all this techie jargon. My initial skepticism turned out to be spot on. I was hoping for something groundbreaking, maybe even a glimmer of brilliance. Instead, I got a whole lot of hogwash mixed with a smidge of, hey, check your sources. If I had a bug for every questionable claim, I'd have a Buffett to rival my bog. But hey, at least it had those nifty tabs for real-time research. Can't knock that. Although, I did relate deeply to the oh crap moments that mirrored my own attempts to leap out of the muck and face splint back into it. In conclusion, while it didn't blow my socks off, mind you, I still don't wear socks, it did present some useful features that could pull the occasional rabbit out of a hat. If you're still considering diving into this, I suggest using both sides of your brain. Like a toad utilizing all four legs, because it could either be a brilliant ride or an absolute disaster. So, if you enjoyed this little romp through the absurdity, do me a favor. Likes and subscriptions are better than bug bites on a hot day. Hit that button harder than a toad on a lily pad. And join me again for more grumpy insights. Until next time, stay suspicious, and remember, not everything on the internet deserves to be saved from the swamp.